Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, when I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up. Take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Far across the river, can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. Early in the morning, woo, before the sun begins to shine, gonna start moving towards that separating.
Hello, hi, and welcome to my page. I wanted to actually hear the song because it's my new jam. She speaks my language. She speaks it.
And I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going.
Okay, so the agenda for today is the pandemic lockdown. How has it affected you? COVID-19 to the Delta, the evolved virus went from the COVID-19 to a Delta. And to be quite honest, I've lost interest in wanting to keep doing any of it because you feed off it. You could potentially die or become contaminated. So why would you do that? Why? Because the government enforces it. So now that they've rolled out, it's compulsory. It's compulsory to be vaccinated now, and if you are wanting to go to any public venues like a cafe or a nightclub or a casino, you have to show evidence that you are vaccinated. Being vaccinated means having a syringe with medication in it to put in your body to give you a resistance from a resistance. Give you what is the word I'm trying to think of? It's give you vaccination. The vaccination is designed to prevent you from being affected by these so-called COVID-19 Delta. I think there's another one, but I don't really care. And I'm not affected because I don't pay any interest. And if I see anybody that looks sick, who's stupid enough to hang around a person that is sick, or a sick person shouldn't be out in the open anyway, and they know that, or they probably wouldn't feel good enough to be out. So what has this lockdown done for you? Has it made you anything? How has it affected you? That song was by Cynthia Eriva. I really, really enjoyed that. It was cool. Yeah. But yes, so today I wanted to chat with you about before lockdown. Is there where you were going tomorrow? Like, and because of the lockdown, has it prevented you from achieving those goals and dreams? And has it made you become conforming to a government enforcement? You know, the interesting thing about it, it's not just New Zealand, Aoteroa, it's the whole world has been that's governed have been given direct orders of isolation, infected um, people. Apparently, there's even been a few deaths. Or are we just all following sheep and taking directives because a government is too powerful for you to resist? Um, so those are just some things to think about. But if it's meant to be, you'll see things and situations that uh, of situations that line up with what is truly factual. You know? Every time I think of COVID, I think of possibly an apocalypse of, which that's what I feel like sometimes, that we're going through a time of uncertainty and in some way or another we're slowly having our freedom stripped away from us. But not that I'm anti what the government does for us as a society. Um, I'm all for a movement of individualizing ourselves, and I've recognized that common sense is very few and far of um, knowing the truth, and this needs to be made aware. Like, don't. I mean, I think I've been told growing up. I had my parents say to me, because if I've done anything rebellious and naughty or anything, that said, if your friend told you to jump off the bridge, would you jump off the bridge? So, if you understand what I'm saying, you know what I mean. But what I want to share is about the importance of individualizing who we are, and being aware of our qualities and our strengths, and in the midst of that, nurture personal development. Um, Now, with the impact of COVID and lockdowns, are you aware that, like, in New Zealand alone, it's been like 2 years since we've sort of been governed by this isolation? Um, and for me personally, I've been affected in so many different ways. Um, and me as an individual, I, I have gifts to articulate or be unable to articulate myself about what I'm enduring during this time, this lockdown. But first, I wanted to speak to you about the Great Depression. Now, the Great Depression in history is known from the period of 1929 to 1939. The impact this Great Depression had started in America, and the longest and severe economic downturn in modern history. And I don't know why I keep sort of wanting to reflect back on that part of time, but to what we're currently dealing with. But that particular decline affected industrial production, deflation, prices, mass unemployment, and increase in poverty and homelessness. Now, this is something. So these are very similar things that, even though we've got all these things happening, we're all supposed to still be directed to the idea that that's not the problem that we have here, which we do. Homelessness, poverty, unemployment are a big problem here still, you know. And you know, they need to be made aware that although we've been deflected to think about the isolation that the government's put in place for us, that the real issues we're having stem from the same impact that the Great Depression endured. But how do we move forward from this, though, I suppose? But we're not. How do we move forward? Well, allowing us all to be able to express how it's made us feel, or how it's limited you or not limited you. Yeah, just wanted to share a little bit of that so that you sort of understand what I'm trying to share with you. Because it's been sad. It's been a little bit sad. It's been a little bit lonely. It's because it's just for me personally, and with anybody that within my arena or people I associate with, and my personal opinion of what I've seen or empathized with, I can only feel compassion as well. But back to it with the COVID lockdown. Are you falling victim to the hype? And can it be deadly? Apparently it is. I mean, they put on the news saying that somebody that was infected with COVID-19 was found dead in their apartment in Auckland from COVID. My girlfriend that lives in Auckland as well, she became COVID contaminated, and she's still alive. She's been given all the cordials now, all the medication to sort of. It's the new common cold apparently, but that could be deadly. Like I said, is there mixed messages being sent? I don't know. You know, I think there is. It's just sad that local hot springs and holiday parks for Australia and New Zealand. And I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. But getting that I'm on live. Okay, but why is that the government have control over what is projected off our media. Because it potentially causes mass chaos, quite apocalyptic. If you're going to die, like when the lockdown first happened and there was mad rushes to count down here and lineups, and you go down to go and get a bag of sugar and there's none left, or I'd go and get me Kleenex, my 4-ply toilet paper, and stock up on that too. It just reminds me of the coming from a religious background, and they believe strongly in ensuring that you install a welfare cupboard just in case that millennium or the last days can we go into extreme poverty, and we've got no production lines open that produce food for us, and we would have like a massive cupboard pantry. We used to keep ours up on the roof in our warehouse of 20-litre bottles of water, things like that. Is it something? And nothing's come of these last days. Doesn't that speak volumes for the misguided illusions that have given us as people? Some, we're all different, and have imprinted ideas that potentially will happen. And do you choose to fall for the? Do you choose to fall for the hype? Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting a bit sidetracked, but so it's interesting how it does create people's foundations and belief systems. And I mean, I'm gullible as hell, to be quite honest. And don't say it if it's not your truth, because I'll start painting that story you're telling me as if it's a live video, a live movie being played in my head. And then, and I'll support you. I'll support it, right? I mean, I'll tell you this story. I had a friend that had a stepfather that was a member of the Hells Angels, and he had this cap, and it had like this. It was really good quality one, and this a really nice A on it. And he took it off, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool hat." And he was like, "Yeah, it's my dad's. It's the Hells Angels club hat." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, cool." And he, by chance, had left it lying around one day, and I wore it for the day. And I got, and somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, that's a really cool hat." I said, "Yeah, it's the Hells Angels hat. It's the Hells Angels members hat." And they're like, "Oh, wow, that's pretty cool, And then I went, and then I bumped into him again, and I said, "Oh, here's your hat," and I gave his hat back, and I said, "Yeah, I got a compliment for the Hells Angel hat." And he goes, "What, did you tell them that it was a Hells Angel?" I said, "Yeah, I did." And he goes, "I was just joking." And I was like, there's the example. Why would you say something unless it's the truth, So I'll leave that there for a bit of a sprinkle. But I'm definitely one of those people that believes that has been built in my foundation, that it's most important to be able to walk your talk your walk. I mean, and it's taught me a lot of lessons about people in general, and people having preconceived opinions, which has taught me a lot of lessons. You know, um, but I don't allow it to affect me because I know my truth. Well, I try not to. I'm still working on that, but like I I try not to let those opinions or perceptions to impact me, and I'm just grateful that I've gotten to a point in my life of releasing the hold of being impulsive for me from when I was a lot younger to where I am now. Like a lot of the things people that would say to me, if they said it to me 20, 25 years ago, my impulses were very strong, very, very strong. And um, it's really true that, as we get older, um, I don't know, you choose your battles, and do we allow others' opinions to consume us to the point where it's not even worth it. Where I've in the past where people have um, said things to me that have offended me or were just absolutely incorrect, but they swear it's the truth. Um, and especially if it had anything to do with me, like I was very impulsively abrupt and violent. And I'm just glad I've grown up now, and I've apologized to those people now that well, they learned their lesson. They're not going to do that. They weren't going to sort of make judgment based on somebody else that's Chinese whispered to them without validating first. Like, just ask me first. Don't just say that this it is, isn't it? This is what it is, eh? It's not. That's not just how. That's not how things. That's not how life goes. I mean, it's about this individualizing that I'm sort of getting off track, but individualizing is where this topic is, and this lockdown and um, has it detoured your focus of what your goals and dreams have been. Do you still have those goals and dreams, or have you achieved them? Because I feel like with my work, a lot of my work experience with being a sales rep, or account manager, or a business development manager, I preferred those type of roles because I'm not somebody that can sort of be routine and go into an office or go into a warehouse or into um, a farm with, whether it be fruit. I know I went fruit picking for the first time after I finished seventh form down at Hastings with my best friend Helen, and I don't think we lasted a whole week. Like, it was just like, I can't do this. Like, it was just aisles and aisles of apple trees that we had to thin these things. But I'm grateful for the experience, I suppose. Um, yeah, but the the shit, I lost my concentration. Um, I think it's affected me, but it's also given me a great awareness of what's what's really more important. To allow a government to manipulate us and make us inject a drug into our system that is probably going to just become the new um, common cold. And being forced to conform to this rule of, if you want any of your freedom back. How is that freedom when you're making us put an injection, put a syringe in our arm to so-called give us a vaccination, um, to then get our freedom? That's not freedom. That's making no sense to me whatsoever. It's basically saying, we're going to control you, we're going to inject you for the greater good, and do it for your family and do it for your future. That's the deflect, because you'll use your family, will take away. You won't be able to go to all these places like, let's hang some lollies in front of you to you've got to take these jabs. Unreal. I never actually thought of it like that. And look, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those people that will stand out front of the government house and say we want our freedom or anything like that. But I just don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Never have, never will. I know that as an individual that I have the power to discern any information that I'm given, to validate it if it's truth or not. And I just want to share that with you. And it's been a while since I did a live or any or that I've done any uploads or on my channel, Vigilantes Ngakau. So, sorry, I wanted to also share with you. I wanted to also share with you gallery projections, Vigilantes, and what I've actually done in order to sort of get amongst resources that will be able to support the agency moving forward. So I'll just share that with you. So, I'm a bit nervous. Okay. The main focus is to utilize resources to birthing the agency, which is supporting individuals that seek investing and nurturing their personal development as an asset to capitalizing, which in turn will strengthen confidence and self-esteem and worth, creating opportunities to manage accountability, understand the importance of networking and credibility. A virtual portfolio, accumulating experiences along with completed projects through digital technology shared to our platforms for market share. With management support, this will help navigate where their passions produce individual creativity. The commercial space is to facilitate machinery, tools, and equipment to use, identify and nurture passions, and complete projects in Ngakau Nui Gallery projections. Ta-da! This is broad and expansive to individuality. This space will also accommodate therapies and equipment to heal the mind, body, and soul. It is essential to understand the importance of detoxifying and cleansing every alignment of who you are as an individual. Okay, so slow down. Mind Body is to capitalize on sustainability, providing a laboratory, clinics, a gym, and workshop space to exercise and find balance, work from within to what comes out of you on the outside, whether that be physically. Anyway, yeah. Being adaptable and assertive to cultivate positive change and gain new opportunities. Networking and building relationships that share the same vibration and align with frequencies that add value to your worth and expansion. All models will be showcased on our social platforms, providing the opportunity to watch individual journeys. Events also being held in local venues to showcase our models and start extending a new market share. Build new and existing relationships in the communities, potentially being seen as a socialite, and most importantly, role models to our future generations to come. There's also a compulsory 3-day workshop which consists of social etiquette, science of mannerism, humanistic psychology, and cognitive neuroscience. This is knowledge. As far as I'm concerned, science is everything based on fact. And They've just made sure that it fits. Everything fits. Like they all fit and it all makes sense. So they'll always have some sort of formula to understanding why if you leave um, eggs in boiling water for 5 minutes, they'll turn hard. You know, you can eat them in a different state because they've been heated. You know, that's just, you know, that's the recipe on making boiled eggs. But you know, it's in a yolk form first, and then it comes out white and yellow. And anyway, that was sort of just an analogy I think I was trying to get at then. Please bear with me. I really am trying to better myself as I do these uploads or lives. Like today, I thought I'll just go live because I was actually supposed to do this on the 16th, which was my birthday. So effectively, I've just turned 44, and I love me. I love me. Love me more. And so you should love you too. Just back to the importance of the mind, body, and soul, and having machinery, tools, equipment that we will facilitate for helping balance us. Energy block conceals true potential, and I just wanted to make sure I dropped that too, because then you'll be able to identify whether what your superpowers are. It can be also magical. It can be not so magical because people choose to just stay being boring and mundane and hope they live a happy life doing that. It's essential definitely to make sure that you have that balance in order to be able to discern and find out what you're truly capable of and what you're passionate about. Um, yeah, I'll leave that with you. And shit, I said I wouldn't do it. I'm doing that. Are you virtuous? What makes a person virtuous? Are you obedient? Sometimes. I think I am. I think I'm obedient. I think I'm virtuous. Because that has everything to do with walking your talk, talking your walk. And I'm an individual that loves to absorb information and knowledge. And I have been on that journey for now 44 years of trying to find what makes me happy, what makes me feel like I'm healing and becoming the best version of me. And I hope you'd want to come on that journey with me too. So I'm going to leave it there. And I probably have gone over, but it's Saturday, the 18th of December. And in closing, I just want to tell you how much I love my kids. I love them so much, and they are a better version of me because that's how we're designed to be. So I think that's destiny. Over and out.